Hello again, friends. I welcome you back to this series on the gentle path with St. Porphyrios. Today, in our series within a series, we are continuing our conversation on spiritual struggle. Last episode, we talked about this notion of not fighting against the evil, but just turning towards Christ, and He will save us. And in this continuation of that discussion of spiritual struggle, a gentle struggle towards Christ, I want to get a little bit more practical with St. Porphyrios, and he has some beautiful things to say about how to turn towards Christ, how we can make this gentle effort. And so join me in listening to his teaching. That is, you can make a different kind of effort to study and pray, and have as your aim to advance in the love of God and of the Church. Do not fight to expel the darkness from the chamber of your soul. Open a tiny aperture for light to enter, and the darkness will disappear. The same holds for our passions and our weaknesses. Do not fight them, but transform them into strengths by showing disdain for evil. How do we do this? We wonder, and St. Porphyrios gives us a much more practical insight. Occupy yourself with hymns of praise, with the poetic canons, with the worship of God, and with divine eros, divine passionate love. All the holy books of our church, the book of the 8 tones, the book of the hours, the Psalter, the books with the offices for the feasts and saint day commemorations, contain holy, loving words addressed to Christ. Read them with joy and love and exaltation. When you devote yourself to this effort with intense desire, your soul will be sanctified in a gentle and mystical way, without your even being aware of it. What a beautiful approach. Maybe you feel too tired to do 20 prostrations, or to even do a strict fast, or to go on a pilgrimage or something like that. And here, St. Porphyrios says it doesn't have to be an either or. We don't have to either do the most extreme or do nothing at all. But we can engage in this bloodless approach, this almost effortless approach of just opening a tiny little crack, a tiny little aperture, and all of the darkness will go away. We don't have to make a big effort. We don't have to do 1,000 different things. We just have to do one tiny little thing, and that is to try to occupy ourselves a little bit with the hymns of praise, with the poetic canons, with the worship of God, the holy books of the Church. The holy books of the Church. These books are not just books with information in them. These are books written by saints, written by holy people. These are artifacts of living encounters with real human beings and the living God. And if we read them, we too are drawn into this encounter. It doesn't create or generate the encounter for us, but it leads us to the threshold of that encounter, so that we too may have our own encounter, to the degree that we are open to it, with this living God. The Psalter is such a beautiful book, or collection of chapters written by David, King David, giving us words of thanksgiving, words of supplication, of doxology, of asking for forgiveness, even of passionate emotion and anger, but in a way that is always offering it up Eucharistically in an anaphora of praise and supplication to God. When we are connected with these holy books, whether it's through the services or through our own personal study, we are filled with goodness, we are filled with beauty, we are filled with delight, like smelling beautiful, sweet, spiritual flowers, spiritual fragrances. Elder Emilianos calls the book of Psalms the smelling salts of the spiritual life, that when you don't have the strength to say the Jesus prayer, you can read the book of Psalms, and it's like when somebody has passed out, they break open smelling salts that kind of shock them back into consciousness. And the Psalter does the same thing for our hearts. When our hearts are subdued by despondency, by cares, by worries, by fear, by anger, and we are incapable of saying things like the Jesus Prayer, we can read the book of Psalms, and we're slowly sometimes and other times suddenly brought back to life and resuscitated. May we all engage to the extent that we're able in this beautiful, gentle way of occupying ourselves with these hymns, with these books, even a little verse at a time, so that we can be fed in this beautiful spiritual way. Have a blessed day.